students, we go through a lot trying to read, to study for exams, and just prepare to have a good grade. And sometimes we have difficulty in remembering what we've studied, and it can be a challenge, right? Maybe you read books and you find it difficult to remember stuffs forever, or to remember stops when you need them. Here's a video that talks about how to read once and remember forever. The first point I would say is that you need to understand the material. You need to get the context. You need to get what the material is saying. Don't just memorize, right? When you memorize, you tend to forget. But make sure you understand what this book is saying. Make sure you understand what the material is saying, right? Don't just cram. Don't cram. Instead of memorizing facts, aim to remember the underlying concept. This helps make the material more meaningful and easy to understand that way. And the next thing is that you should teach others. When you teach others, you get to understand it better. You get to highlight the missing gap. This point is active learning. You need to do what we call active recall. You need to really test yourself on certain aspect of the material. Test yourself. So give yourself tests without looking at the notes. This actually helps strengthens memory retention, right? And the next thing you need to do is spaced repetition. Regularly reviewing the material at increasing interval, like every 1 week, every 1 month, like every 2 months, right? That way you become more familiar with the material. So it's so important you are conversant with the material, because that helps strengthens retention. The next point is to stay engaged. Be curious about what you're learning about. That way you get to be engaged with the material. That way, the more engaged you are, the more likely you are to remember it, right? So engage different senses by reading aloud, writing summaries, or using videos. Multisensory learning enhances memory retention. So try and watch videos on that aspect. Try and just read aloud, or you try and write it, engaging different part of your senses, right? It helps with memory retention. So it is so important, right? And the next point is healthy habit. Make sure you get enough rest, because your brain is working, your mind is working. But when you get enough rest, right, it helps with assimilating better, right? So it is so important you eat well. Also make sure you eat balanced diet, make sure you eat very well, and make sure you exercise. Make sure your body is fit, right? Because it helps when you're reading, right? So it is so important that you exercise regularly, you eat, and you sleep well. For me personally, I make sure I sleep nothing less than 6 hours in a day, and I think medical practitioners recommend sleeping 6 hours a day, right? For adults, right? At least 6 hours in a day. So make sure you get enough sleep. Because you need time to relax. You're not in machine, right? So you need to rest. So, and when you're reading, make sure you take regular breaks. Just maybe you read for 30 minutes and you take 5 minutes breaks. Then you come back again, you read another 30 minutes, take 5 minute break. Just take that break, and taking breaks also helps. It's proven that regular exercise improves cognitive function and memory. Physical activities stimulate the brain, making it easier to learn and remember, right? So it is so important. So even scientists have proven that when you exercise, when you carry out more physical activities, it helps you to remember more effectively. And the next point is that link new information to what you already know. Link the new information or the knowledge you are acquiring to existing knowledge, right? So let's say you're reading about the law of motion. You know that you need to understand forces, right? You need to understand the first law of motion, you need to understand the second law of motion, third law of motion. Or you're trying to do calculus, you need to understand trigonometry, right? You need to understand the basics first before trying to accumulate more information. So when you understand the basics first, you'll be able to solve complex questions. So it is so important that you understand the basics and make sure that you link the new information to previously existing information. It helps to recall those things you're reading more, and it helps in memory retention. Connecting new knowledge to existing knowledge helps to connect it more deeply or to embed those information in your mind. And the next point is create mind maps. It is so important that you visualize whatever you're reading and visually organize information to see relationship between different contents. So it makes it easier to recall the structure and content of what you've read. So when you visualize things in your mind, it helps to really make you understand those things very well. It is so important that you're not cramming. Make sure you're not cramming. Make sure you are reading to understand. Just make sure you connect those things in your mind. See, connect it, like usually organize information to see the relationship between different concepts, right? So I hope these points really helps you whenever you're studying the next time. If this video is of value to you, please like, share, subscribe, and please join this family by subscribing to this channel. My name is Jeremiah Absayo, and thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.